Hello, everyone. Thanks again for joining us. What does real rural development look like? Not in theory, but what does it actually look like on the ground? In this episode of ProutCast, we sit down with Pradeep Sharma, a former policy and planning advisor to the Government of Chhattisgarh, willing to unpack one of the most ambitious rural regeneration efforts in recent Indian history. We will also go over the personal journey that made it possible. Pradeep didn't arrive at government policy through the usual route. He was actually born in a remote tribal region, trained as an engineer, and later walked away from his 9-to-5 job in the petroleum industry. His path took him through environmental justice movements, village-based agriculture activism, Ayurveda, and years of grassroots organizing. This rather unusual journey gave him a rare perspective: how institutions look from within the margins, and how they can be restructured to serve those disparaged. During his time in government, Pradeep helped shape NGGB, Narva, Garuwa, Gurva, Badi, an integrated village developmental model that began with a simple question: what if water, soil, livestock, nutrition, and livelihoods were treated as one system, not separate schemes to be exploited? What followed was the revival of small rivers, rivulets, a shift away from chemical fertilizers, the reimagining of cattle as a regenerative asset, the return of nutritionist gardens to households, and the creation of thousands of village-based livelihoods. We explore how NGGB evolved into the Rural Industrial Parks, the RIPA, and what changed when villages stopped selling raw materials and started to produce finished goods. We also touch on why women started to become economic anchors of this transformation. If you've ever wondered why so many rural development programs fail despite good intentions and good people working on them, if you've ever wondered what it takes to move from extraction to regeneration, if you've ever wondered how large-scale change can still impact local issues, this episode, quite frankly, offers rare, grounded insights you will be unlikely to find in mainstream media. Stay with us until the end for a forward-looking conversation on where NGGB and RIPA are headed next, and what communities around the world can learn, not just copy, but adapt from this experience. Thank you. As always, make sure to like and subscribe and enjoy the show. Hello and welcome to ProutCast, where we live through a vision of yoga as a collective liberation ideology. Today, we're talking to the Honorable Pradeep Sharma, a man whose career bridges activism, corporate strategy, and traditional systemic bureaucracy, as well as government-level federal policy. This is a rare combination that has not been seen on our show as of yet, and it is also something that, as you will find out in this episode, has enabled him to enact large-scale agricultural policy. From his early work in environmental justice and toxic exposure to running biodiesel demonstration farms in the corporate world, Pradeep Sharma has always been a practical mind working within systemic means to bring social justice to fruition. In 2019, he transitioned into a planning and policy advisor role with the Government of Chhattisgarh, a state in India. He saw initiatives like NGGB, which he will touch on, and its evolution into the rural industrial parks, also known as RIPA. These are models that revived water, soil, livestock, and nutrition systems, while also generating thousands and thousands of livelihoods. So today we'll explore how he designed these programs, what worked, what didn't, and what lessons can guide rural development elsewhere, especially in developing and global South countries. So welcome, Pradeep ji, to the show. This is awesome. You're actually our first guest from India, so it's really great. We're really excited to broaden our horizons here. I know many times a lot of discourse online can be centered on Western countries, but we at ProutCast want to be different in this regard. We want to give a voice to people all over the world, and so we're really happy to have you on.
Thank you.
You've worked across various different fields, environmental activism, you've worked across traditional institutions, you've worked in corporate agriculture, you've worked in civil society campaigns, and you've even been a government advisor. So, with each phase of your career, can you please give us like a timeline of how things happened as they did and what each phase had taught you ultimately and how each phase has led into another? So starting from your beginnings as an environmental activist, could you give us some context as to how you got started into that field?
Well, thank you, Ishan, to call me in your podcast. See, my journey is really interesting. I mean, interesting because I have seen right from small tribal village where I was studied. I was born in a very remote area of Chhattisgarh, which is earlier Madhya Pradesh, where very huge population of tribal people were there. And my father was a tribal school teacher, so he teaches young tribal children in his school. He has opened many schools in his lifetime. And with him, we just roamed around village to village, place to place, jungles to jungles, forest to forest. And we studied with them in our childhood days. When we grew up, we were sent to study in nearby townships and later on some very good institute. I was fortunate to be studied in engineering colleges, very prestigious IIT, Indian Institute of Technology, and very prestigious subjects like applied geology and petroleum exploration engineering and all that. So during all those days, I was watching continuously myself with respect to people who shared their childhood with me. And the time I was growing up and and rising in the ladders of development, and these people were getting down and down and down to the bottom of the disparity. So that was always in front of me, and that was very painful for me. Those who were my friends, with whom I played, studied, we had you know buddy less and all that. So I came to college. They went back to the village. I got
Mm.
my first job. They went for plowing the field and doing some animal husbandry's job. When I came to industry, they were dead ridden.
Mm.
When I was successfully married, they were married earlier with me and then they were dead ridden for their children's marriages and his. So I step up every ladder of prosperity and they have come down step by step in the poverty, the backwardness, and kind of depression.
Mm.
That is one thing which is always in front of my eyes. So I said that why don't there be a system where we can grow together? Would it be a system which is win-win situation? Or few handful people have been selected through the studies, through the exams, through the lots of names, and have been selected and given all prosperities, all facilities, all all things, and being compensated for it. And rest of the people has been thrown in the chunk of exploitation.
Mm.
So that was a big thing which led me to come out of whatever I studied, whatever I've been trained, whatever I've earned. So I started, finding out some ways and kept changing my professions. So from a successful corporate world employee, I left that because I was in petroleum and I left. Very soon I came to know that petroleum is the root cause of all sins of industrial time.
Yeah.
And it is highly paid industry.
Yes.
Creates sort of, techno feuds
Yes, yes, correct.
We got everything, lots of money paid in dollars. And then we want what? Then we want large cars. We want huge house. We want several thousand people working under us. Yes, almost workers, slaves, all that. So
Yes.
I this is not the thing which I was brought up. I was brought up in a kind of tribal society where everybody is, you know, there's nobody is so rich and there's nobody so
Yes.
poor. There is a certain proportion between the poorest of the poor and the richest of the rich in the village.
Yes.
So I wanted to just, that is already there in the village society of the country. So I felt myself very alien in the industrial society of cities. And that kept on, haunting me that I'm not in a good company, sort of. So, I mean, then I started studying spiritual psychologies, environmental things, and we were one of the people who are left out in the villages has become one of the biggest victims of environmental crises, which we
Hmm.
generated in industries.
Yes.
So that has actually took me to take U-turn, whatever I studied. However, I studied very passionately with a lot of heart and everything. But after, say, around 25, 26 years, I thought that I was in a wrong track.
Hmm.
So I kept changing, and then I left my petroleum and then thought to work for the struggle against this kind of industrial exploitation.
Hmm.
We joined that time, and there is a very good environmental movement was going on named
Hmm.
the Bachao Andolan. That was a
Garbage.
tribal's resistance against a huge dam which is being built in central India that may oust almost around 2 lakh families
Oh,
who
wow.
will be affected. So there
That's
was a huge
horrible.
kind of, struggle going on. Many people are from around the world and country, young people, socialists and other people have
Hmm.
come there, technocrats come there. In
Hmm.
support of tribals, we started working. There
Hmm.
I learned one thing that this environmental justice is not being done, you know, with the development, so-called development. So that was my time, 2 to 3 years of very serious activism. I also joined Greenpeace for some time,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
and but amongst all environmental kind of things, one thing I realized that these are all kind of fighting with the problems. It's like fighting fires. Nobody is touching the source code.
Hmm. Correct.
Nobody
Yes,
is
I
touching
understand.
the code of problem. So what is the source code of problem? Source code of problem is something else. The source code of problem, I started taking up a spiritual trip throughout the country. And country was going through a very is from 91 to 2000. Country has gone through a very different new revival of spiritual, awakening in the country. And
Hmm.
that is, when I started visiting everybody one by one, I don't want to name one, but many institutions.
Hmm.
I was very surprised to see quite young population around the
Hmm.
new age gurus speaking good English, or even the old
Hmm.
people, old Matadish, all that.
Hmm.
I was surprised to see very young people, educated, MBAs, Indians, having white clad loincloth and doing complete 24 by 7. So from activism, when I went there, I found that one common thing amongst everybody, all spiritual gurus were saying one thing: just do not fight. I went to these people to find out a logic to fight against injustice. And these people were saying that don't fight. Try to be, see, why you are sad? You are sad because you do not understand that, you know, you do not have an answer or solution for yourself. So you are actually, nobody talks about that. The problem of the country is like that, that he, the money is in few hands and one should fight against it.
Hmm.
Powers are in few hands who are corrupt. You should fight against it. That activism has actually taught us practically. We've seen that. But the no spiritual seat, we're saying that. They're not endorsing it. Rather, they were some kind of, hands in gloves with them. So it was again a very surprise to me. So then I went to agriculture because I thought that we need to find out something, some occupation which is environmentally very sound, and
Yes.
and it should be kind of a pure way to live and earn peacefully.
Hmm.
So I went to Kutch. Kutch is a western part of India with a lot of water scarcity. There's only 9 inches of rainfall here. There we learned rain-fed agriculture, chemical agriculture, as well as uh, uh, organic agriculture.
Hmm.
So there I learned agriculture, and then I came into touch with Anand Marg, which
Hmm.
is the only institution, which is the only met many people who says that as a person of spiritual belief, you need to resist
Hmm.
any injustice around you. That is what
Yes.
Krishna said. That is what Shiva said. That is what Jesus said.
Hmm.
Muhammad said. Fight against all injustice. If you're not fighting, avoiding it, you cannot be spiritual.
That is true.
And that is, there's two ways of fight. One is with the violent ways. There is non-violent ways. So I prefer non-violent ways. I do not succumb to the idea of violent ways of resisting because world is at least that much civilized that non-violent struggle, peaceful resistance is being heard, and if systems are in place, then it really brought a lot of things. So after agriculture, I learned about health issues. So I learned Ayurveda. I went to Mount
Hmm.
Abu. I learned Ayurveda, and then we have started. There was a one of my friend who was already having a Rashala, means factory of production of Ayurvedic herbs. So we
Okay.
became part of it for 2 years. I was there. Then I came back to my homeland of Chhattisgarh. When I went from my Chhattisgarh to study, I had a pledge to my all friends. As soon as I complete my 40 years, I will come back with you people. Don't worry. And by completing of 35 years, I met my life partner. She's also from that kind of mentality.
Oh, that's amazing.
And then I came back to Chhattisgarh. It started because I learned I was expert in agriculture. I was expert in Ayurvedic medicine making. I know many things by that time. So many crafts I learned. So I came back. I was having full confidence that I can survive without exploiting anybody by producing something. I become a producer person. So then, with that confidence, I came back to my village, met all my friends who are left out, who has become either shepherds, cobblers, or kind of you know missions. So collected all my old friends, and we have started an organization named Krishak Biradari, the Farmers Brotherhood. And we started working on agriculture, and since then we have done 10 years understanding village, its resources, how can we revive the village life, how can we become prosperous together. And then one person, one of my friend who was into politics, his name is Bhupesh Baghel, kept coming,
Hmm.
seeing our work. When he has become chief minister of that state, he asked me to come to government and said that you change those things which you want to change. I'm giving
Hmm.
you full freedom. So I become his advisor on policy planning, rural development and agriculture. And then we have done some 10, 20 plans for Chhattisgarh, which is largely a rural state. And that 5 years is history. Almost 80% of the population of Chhattisgarh, which is not less than 15 million people. We have
Oh.
touched its life of 15 million. So that was my short story, my journey.
Pradeep ji, that is really, really incredible to hear. I was really captivated throughout hearing your journey into this space. So let's go into specifically what your role looked like as the policy and planning and policy advisor for the Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh. How did you apply those dynamics to your role as the advisor to the Chief Minister?
When I went to village, I thought one thing very, very clearly that we let us come down to objective requirement of our life, not the subjective requirement,
Hmm.
right?
Yes, yes, 100%.
So then we said, ki if we require what is objective requirement of our life, our priorities immediately got changed.
Hmm.
So we don't need any big dam. We need our ever flowing rivulet instead,
Hmm.
right?
Yes.
Besides that, we sat together, sing our song, dance and swim.
Yes, yes.
Why do we have a huge big dam which is awful to see, to watch it?
Yes,
It
yes,
has its own huge environmental implications.
yes,
Why do we require any kind of chemical fertilizer where we have
yes,
lots of organic fertilizer, biomass
yes,
lying around us?
yes,
Why do we require industrial farming of, you know, fruits and vegetables where our farmyard kitchen back farmyards would have all these things being produced in a small way, right?
yes.
Shade gardens are there, right?
No, for sure. Yes, yes.
So then we started identifying these things as we said that, look, this is our resources. And what has been told to us, no, these are all dirt. This is all something we need to, this need to clean out from the village,
Hmm.
right? For that matter, Chhattisgarh has 36,000 rivulets, small rivulets,
Oh,
because of
wow.
its raining, raining pattern, its geological sequences. We are second Himalaya. After
Could
Himalaya,
you explain for the audience what a rivulet is? Because I know many may not be familiar with that term.
so there is a four stage in any river life. One starts from L1, is the level one.
Mm.
That is
Okay.
2 to 8 kilometers of small rivulets, right?
Hmm.
It is called rivulet. Okay. So that is rivulet is called Nala in
Nala.
Hindi.
Yes.
Right? So this is L1. So the water comes out in jungles, forests, their gullies, and then the storm water comes out and forms a small channel, right? So
Hmm.
this channel is called rivulet. So this is rivulet L1. So this is basically a natural depression in the topography where all the water is being collected and then it flows. That is called
Hmm.
rivulet, Nala,
Hmm.
L1. Then comes to L2, right? Two, three nalas, right? Two, three nalas make a rivulet, right?
Okay.
The channel, two, three channels make one rivulet, Rivulet, rivulet. small river, right?
Hmm.
So second is L2, that is rivulet. It has a length of 8 to 10 kilometer. Okay. The channel has
Yeah.
maximum length is 1 kilometer, maximum 500 meters to 1 kilometer. ठीक है? Half kilometer
Hmm.
to 1 kilometer. And then 2 to 8 kilometer is rivulet. ठीक है? And then comes third stage, L3. That is called Nadi, river. And fourth stage is called Mahanadi, huge river.
Hmm.
Right? Like Hudson is a river. So we said, don't, if you block river, then you have to build huge dam.
Hmm.
Don't make huge dams. It's a environmental hazard, catastrophe,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
It submerges thousands acres of land. It made
Yeah.
it barren. This huge river, kind of things. In industrial era, there is a emphasis on huge and big,
Hmm.
huge machines, huge production system, huge dams, huge power plants, all huge, huge, huge.
Hmm.
Then there is a word comes that is small is beautiful. And there is a limit to growth. Because all huge things creates huge debris
Hmm.
to deal with, right?
And so, in terms of how you've been able to manage the rivulets and kind of utilize it for the public good with your NGGB initiative, could you describe to the audience how that connects with this overall mission of sustainability and rural development? The
So,
NGGB, by the way, stands for Narwa, Gurwa, and Badi, correct?
yeah. So, NGGB is N for Narva. Narva means rivulet.
Hmm.
So, protect your water system. That is the natural water system flowing besides your village, right? Countryside.
Yes.
Because in India is a riverine culture.
Yes.
So, villages settled besides the rivers. All big cities of India is situated beside banks of rivers. So as in
Hmm.
America and rivulets, right? So I mean, so we said to villagers, look, you have to protect your village, your rivulets, make it ever flowing. That creates kind of environmental uh, friendly stoppage of it. So don't make huge structures, just make 3 feet height small barricading,
Hmm.
stopgap arrangements. So when more water comes in the rainy season, it flows over. And then when water reduces down, it slowly, crosses the boundary of 3 feet, 4 feet, and then flows
Hmm.
back.
Hmm.
Right? Yeah. So what we told people, when we told villagers, ki you protect rivulets. And the rivulet always starts from the jungles and high plateaus and uplands. So we did all this river barricading, basically river barricading. So 18,000 rivers has been barricaded, and they have become almost 8 months are ever flowing rivers,
Wow.
which is dried in 4 months earlier.
Okay. Mm.
There's a rainy season, it stops, and after 2 months, all these
It dries
rivulets
up.
got totally dried up, and the water went to different rivers, big rivers, and that went to again into large dams, and then there is
Yeah.
nothing. So the ecosystem of that rivulet is totally dried. The herbs and plants and biodiversity, which is the besides of the banks of that inside that the rivulets has
Yeah.
been totally, you know, either dried up or are extincted.
Hmm.
So first thing we did is with the help of local central government program, which is made for that, it's called Manrega, which is now being wiped out by this government. So we used that and we made small structures. We never make big structures, and 18,000 river systems has been made ever flowing. Out of that, 26 lakh hectare of forest has been rejuvenated.
Wow, that's amazing.
And water system, you know, Chhattisgarh in the whole country has put an example of 3 meter of water recharge,
Okay,
3 meter height of water recharge.
3 meter high.
It is very phenomenal.
No, that is phenomenal. Wow. And so could you give us like a picture of what, for example, in a specific village it looked like before and after this initiative took place?
Yes, is there not one? There is several thousand villages. In Chhattisgarh, 11,000 panchayats. I mean, the
Yes,
small
yes.
government bodies are there. Out of out of that, almost around this, I'm just telling you one district near
Mm.
Raipur, where 80 rivulets
80,
has been
80.
totally revived in the plain area.
Oh,
It's
wow.
difficult in plain area.
Yeah,
In
yeah,
the
yeah. No,
hill
that
area,
is, yeah.
because all the water goes to the hill first. But in plain area, 80 rivulets has been revived, and the farming is doubled, and farmers' income gets far higher than it was there. Drinking water problem is being solved. Their hand pumps has been dried on the summer season. Now it is not. We have made some technical changes because I'm a geologist and I helped the whole team to generate a very different kind of water shedding basically. So we made a small water shedding and the watershed of whole Chhattisgarh, and then we are able to 18,000, half of it, half of river replenished with water throughout the year, if not throughout, at least 8 months or 9 months. So this was the first initiative of river that is called Narwa. Second is Gurwa. Gurwa is cattle. Chhattisgarh has a huge population of cows and bulls and bullocks and buffalo and goats because we were kind of persons who were 43% is jungle and the rest of the people were shepherds. But when we become agrarian people, we had managed to grow up these cows, and these cows are not a kind of milching material for us. In this industrial system, cow is a machine which gives you milk.
Yes.
You feed them and get the milk. Much you feed, much you get milk. But cow is not a milching material.
No.
In India, cow is being looked after as a bioorganic compost provided animal.
Hmm.
Like they eat biomass, 40 kilograms of biomass, they eat every day. If not 40, let's say around average 20 kg of biomass.
Mm.
80 kg of biomass they eat, and they give you 10 kg of active organic material, which is called cow dung.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, yeah. For
And
sure,
this
yeah.
cow dung is the source of your soil structures, soil
Yeah.
organism that gives you beautiful fertilizer. So converting this biomass into active carbon is the basic role of cows and buffaloes in the rural areas from thousands of the years of agriculture. Not only in India, it is
Mm.
also in Egypt, is also in Africa, is also
Mm.
in England,
Yes.
and is also in America,
Yes.
for that matter, China, and not counting them.
Yes,
The
yes.
horses' dung and elephant dung has been used for many things.
Yes.
But later on, we made them a kind of milching machine that was again a changed. So milching machine, and then second is the for the beef and other things. So
Yes.
fortunately in India they don't eat beef in general. So
Mm.
so cow has become when they a cow has a milching period of say around 50 weeks age, right? And after that, after 50 weeks or 35 weeks, then another 1 year completely is a dry period. So for farmer, it is very difficult if he only looks for that milk thing. to feed that cow when she is not giving milk. But then it becomes totally uneconomic,
Yes.
right? But you know, we have 13 millions of cow population in Chhattisgarh. 13 million, 1,30,000.
Y-
There's a huge population.
No,
Almost
that is a huge population.
half of the population of the human being. Yeah.
Wow.
Earlier, I heard that it was almost double of that.
Hmm.
But anyway, then we started thinking why our ancestors keep these cows when they are not very productive in milk system. They
Hmm.
might convert it to very high milching variety of cows, which is available in different part of country. Then we came to know that this is because these cows do not require any special feed. They take only left out things in the farmyard manure. They eat farmyard manure, they drink water from the ponds, and then give you, without any maintenance, 10-20 kg of compost.
Hmm.
The living fertilizer, organic living. So we identified, like small rivulet, we identified is much more important thing than the river. Similarly, we identified cows is source of our organic fertilizer, not as the source of milk. That's a fundamental shift. Yeah. So we have developed a small gauthans. Gauthan is a kind of place where cows has been kept in the daytime. Is a day care center in every village for the cows. They come, they have food, they give cow dung, and then go back in the evening to their home. Right.
Hmm.
And then we started training our village women to convert this cow dung into vermicompost fertilizer.
Hmm.
We put worms who eats it,
Yeah, yeah.
earthworm eats it, and then gives us most wonderful fertilizer, which can be sprayed like chemical fertilizers. So in 11,000 villages, 10,270 villages have got a
Hmm.
98% panchayat, local government body has one gota.
Hmm.
And the land is being provided voluntarily by village people. One
Hmm.
lakh 68,000 acres of land has been provided by people of village to make this
Wow.
go free of
Wow.
cost. And then government by their own systems and management, they have developed it. And then women has been trained to convert into fertilizer. That
Hmm.
fertilizer goes back to the cooperative system, and
Hmm.
then through cooperative system it goes to the farmer.
Hmm.
3 million quintals, 3 million quintals of vermicompost has been produced in this 10,000 or
That's
product
incredible.
fertilizer production centers of villages, and goes back to the farms, the village. So this is the huge carbon sequestration, and that solves big problem of greenhouse gas emission in
Hmm.
the village.
Yes. Oh, 100%. Yes.
Yeah. So that has become a kind of an economic. So the villages almost around 2 lakh women were participating it, and they have been given a lot of money out of it. So and the person who was having dry cows, they started selling this cow dung in rupees 2 kg. So the cow dung has become a very valuable resource in the village, and that has been purchased like milk has been purchased. So the
Yes.
dry cow
Yes.
has become economic material, is a resource now in the village. So this whole cyclic economy has converted. So this is the second part of it is called Garuwa, means
Garua.
animal based economy, animal resource. So first is water resource, second is animal resource, Third is Ghurwa. Gurwa is composed with the cooperative.
Hmm.
It's the whole distribution system. That is called
Yes.
Gurwa. And Badi means that is the kitchen shed, fresh fruits and garden. Small gardens has been developed through all these material which we generated in the Gauthans, that organic fertilizers, organic things. So we have generated all that. And because of that, everything comes out. So the village has become almost 500 crore rupees economy has been generated in the villages
Hmm.
by that. And after that, in the second phase of it, we have started a rural industrial park.
Okay. Rural
So when
industrial park.
people,
Yeah.
girls and other people are doing this all resource-based work, then now we went to skill-based and innovation-based work. In the rural society, what happened? There are people in the villages who are agrarian for 4 months, but agriculture is not full-time job in India.
Hmm.
So in their hay time, they have become very creative. They have some of the other artistic perception, like a skilled
Hmm.
perception. We call it artisans.
Artisans. Yes. Yes.
They make something very beautiful. Somebody makes bamboo craft. Somebody makes
Yes.
metal craft. Somebody makes medicines. Somebody makes something else. Cotton, fabric, textile, metals,
Yes.
right? So we have given them training and a place to produce it with all modern production facilities. So 2 acres area has been identified and given all facilities by government, good roads, full-time electricity, free Wi-Fi,
Free Wi-Fi. Wow.
free Wi-Fi, and subsidized subsidized rate of electricity
Oh
and water,
wow.
right?
That's amazing.
And training. So the villager, the boys and girls, comes to that park and produces all FMCG, paste, soap, confectionaries, paints, and surgical cottons, shoes, textile, cloths, and that produces all those things. And that has been given to government, local people. So that has earned almost 80 to 85 crore rupees per year.
Wow. 85 core, to put it in a perspective, for if you're not familiar with the term core, how much is 45 cores in US dollars? Do you know what's an estimate?
Is 45 crore rupees is almost around uh, 4 450 million rupees.
Okay, 450 million rupees. Okay.
Convert into 100, divide into 100, like dollar is
Yeah,
very,
yeah, yeah.
it is. Those days was 75. So you can
Yes.
say it's around $50 million.
50 million. Yeah. No, but that is significant for someone like Chhattisgarh. No, that is quite amazing. Yeah, wow. And I know you mentioned earlier, I want to touch on this before moving on to the final part of the NGGB. This whole idea of the Kisan, Karigar, and Kalakar style
Yeah. So
of
this
viewing workers, right? In a way of kind of reframing how they are viewed and treated, and also their role to give them autonomy. And could you describe how that has empowered them, both economically and on a personal level?
Ishan, I'm going to give you an example, right?
Hmm.
Like you are a technocrat. Suppose you are a technocrat. You go to factory or you go to some system, production system.
Yeah.
You went there, you work for 10 to 5 or something. Then you come back. And then what you do? You do something which is your hobby, right? Something very innovative and creative, just to revive yourself, to just, you know, decompress yourself.
Yes.
Very innovative way. And then you listen to music and dance and meet people,
Yes.
gossip and whatever. Right? Everybody has these 3 stages. Once these three stages, is being fulfilled, he felt very, very fulfilled life. Right?
Hmm.
So similarly, in the village, a person is a producer. So he is a farmer, and after farming, he do some off farming things, off farming and non farming things, which is making some artistic things, like
Hmm.
making some bell metal bells or something, like some confectionaries. Mothers
Yes.
make some sweets, and you know they make some weave some nets or make some toys or something like that. Right? So he becomes artisans.
Artisan.
Agrarian becomes artisans. So he do
Hmm.
product. He do produce.
Yes.
Produce is his quality time and added with the creativity.
Yes.
So in his quality time, the free time, he uses innovative creativity and makes some very beautiful product, which enthuse anybody. So at that time, he has become artisans. So that product has to come to the market and become the part of economy.
Hmm.
So agrarian has converted into artisan,
Artisan.
and after that artisan, some say around 2-3 months or something, he wants to revive him more psycho spiritual realm.
Yes.
So in that psycho spiritual, he sings, dance, play folks, all that kind of things. Right?
Yes. Yes.
So then he becomes artist, and his whole purpose of that artistry is bliss and blessedness. He don't want to
Hmm.
earn too much out of it. He just sings because he want to blessed, blessed, and by being blessed and being into bliss, he made others into bliss and blessed. Right?
Hmm.
So being blessed and blessed, he become artists. So people's life is like in India, it's farmer, is artisan, is agrarian, artisan, and an artist. So in this circle, his 100% energy is being utilized. So you can see that in Chhattisgarh, the 6,000 varieties of rice has been produced. And that 36,000 rice has not been made inside any laboratory.
Hmm.
That is naturally selected varieties by these people in 100 or 200, 300, 5,000 years.
Hmm.
Right? So they are artisans. They are agrarians.
Hmm.
And there are lots of art forms in Chhattisgarh, and out of, I mean, not less than 300 different forms of art,
Wow.
100 forms of
Folk,
folklore
folk tradition. Yes.
traditions are there. They do Pandwani, they do Ramayana, they do
Hmm.
this. They dance, they gammat, natak, etc. etc. India is full of it. People go, enjoy it, comes back.
Hmm.
There was no such TV, no such radio,
Hmm.
which makes you complete alien sit in the room, watch some movie, does
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
is going on. It's not like in India, in
Yeah.
villages,
Yeah.
especially 20 years back. It is people comes together in a kind of common place, enjoyed together, dance, play, art, all.
Yes. Yes.
And it's
It's
all
a
together.
shared community event. It
Yeah.
increases the bond within
There's no
communities
of it.
and empowers them. Yes.
So it's versus physical things. So agrarian is a physical development, physical satisfaction, conversion of physical energy into economy. So artist is physico-psychic realm of product. And then artist is psycho-spiritual level of production. So in all these three realms of production, right, makes a person completely prosperous. In proud term, it is called prama, right? So that is what.
That's amazing. And so would you say that allowing these artisans, workers, artists to celebrate their own work. It both transformed them on a material level, but also it gave them more emotional and sentimental stake to the work they were doing, and overall
Yes.
improved quality of life. Would you say that was observed?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Okay, that's amazing. And moving on, in relation to that, I know there's been a lot of work to include women, especially in these rural areas, into the fold and allowing them to increase their economic autonomy and cultural and spiritual autonomy. What work has your initiatives done in that direction specifically?
See, first thing that in Chhattisgarh and rural India, most of the agriculture work, wage laborers, everything, is done by the women only. Hard works are done by men sometimes, and like plowing and other things, but the most of the things, like planting tea, this, that, plantation of rice and harvesting of rice, everything has been done tirelessly by these women. So the man goes to outside and just do outing and other thing. So we
Hmm.
selected that the free type of women, that is between 11 to 3, they were free, little free. We convert that energy as an opportunity to produce and become part of economic independence.
Hmm.
So women came out of the village and come to that production center that is called Gotana Rural Industrial Park. And
Hmm.
they learned, through the trainings and producers things and got the money in their own account that gives them lots of confidence to produce and become a very independent, right citizen in not
Hmm.
only in the society but also in their own family.
Hmm.
They're an earning member now.
Hmm. That is amazing. And would you say there has been an improvement in both autonomy before and after the initiative took place?
Yes, I'm telling you
Yes.
one thing, one example of a village. One of my chief secretary has gone to see the development of one of the Gautans. So the men
Yes.
of the village has sort of garrowed him. Garrowed means
Yes.
encircled him, protested, said,
Yes, yes,
"You
yes.
stop that, your nonsense Gautan thing." Said why? He said our women were saying that we are not going to harvest our crops. He said why? It is there also. So they said that we are earning 500 rupees or 500 rupees or 700 rupees a day, whereas the
Hmm.
labor, it's 180 rupees a day or 200 or 300 rupees a day. You find out your labors from the next villages are the men. You find out
Hmm.
men from the different villages and do your harvesting things. We are earning more than that.
Hmm.
So he said that please stop this because our work is being suffered. So this is empowerment, right? So that equality,
Yes,
that
yes, yes.
bargaining power of the women, when they have been identified their production capacity, has given them a lot of pride. Like women do the most of the 80% of the work in the village, in the
Yes.
home. Like they wake up earliest in the morning, they feed their cattle, and then make the tiffin for their children who are supposed to go to school. Then make the lunch for the family, and then she took some rest, and then while his kids comes, then again feed them, do the cleaning of the home, utensils, and then going sleep. And that is all not counted as economic activity. Economic, and the person who goes 10 to 5 outside the village, you know, and earns something is being counted as economic activity. So that disparity is very high. So when women get the job inside the village and almost earning a very good salary, out of that some time they have, that give them a lot of confidence that you are not the
Hmm.
only person. Don't dictate me, right? You're not the only
Yeah.
running the home financially. I'm also able to run the house.
Yes, yes. A lot of the work that women do day to day, especially in America as well, in India, a lot of the domestic work is kind of sidelined and labeled as unimportant or women's work, but it is integral. to our everyday economy. It's just not something that's thought upon as such, and it's ridiculed and demeaned. But it should not be. It should be empowered like all work. Moving on, let's talk about nutrition, because I know nutrition is something that is often overlooked in rural development programs, but the NGGB treated it as economic infrastructure in a way. So, how did these backyard gardens, or the Badis, which is like the B of the NGGB, how do they help families access fresh produce year round?
When we uh, joined the government, the malnutrition among children and women is very high. It has been said that it ranges from 48% to 52% women and children were malnutrition in
Wow.
this state. What is the reason of this malnutrition? Is the fresh fruits and vegetable was not available in the
Mm,
villages, because that has been actually wiped out to the industrial farming nearby the cities. It was very ironically earlier it was different case. The village were supposed to be suppliers of fresh fruits, vegetables, and milk to the towns. Now the industrial farming, chemical farming, large farmings and large dairies started producing things industrially, chemically, and being sold back to the villages in a very high cost, which is
mm,
unaffordable.
yeah, yeah.
So then when we started that kitchen backyard garden,
Mm,
then even if it is not for the sale, but they don't need to purchase. They have something every day to eat. Fresh fruits and vegetables, leafy vegetables, suppliers of all kinds of iron, vitamins,
mm,
minerals, fruits are there. Like in my childhood in Chhattisgarh, many fruits are that kind of fruit which was never seen in the market to be sold, because it is
mm,
available plenty in every household, like guava, like custard apple,
mm,
tamarind. It was not being sold. It was everywhere
mm,
for public. But later on, they cut it and dried or something, and it has been grown in industrial farms and being sold. Now, in my childhood, we went to village garden. There were community gardens in the village called Bagicha, and eat mangoes like whatever, however, how much you can eat, you can eat. The roadside, there are mango trees, countless mango trees.
mm,
But it's all wiped out. The mango is sold at very high price. So now we have again, rejuvenate that system,
mm,
and that rejuvenation of the system, and especially when the water comes from the village through the
mhm,
rivulet system. So this economy has been circular.
mm,
That water, then fodder, forest, and the compost, and then finally nutrition. So the nutrition has reduced from 48 to 22%. Malnutrition
wow.
is reduced from 48%, 52% to 20.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Also, we started because we have made every rivulet ever flowing almost. So the bank of that river has been the typical producer area of millets. So in 4 years, Chhattisgarh has become hub of millet production. Chhattisgarh was seventh state of millet production in the country, and after 4 years, it has topped the first position in the country for millet production. And then millet cafe started in Chhattisgarh. And millet is great source of, all energy, nutrition, calcium, all supplements. Millets are
Mm.
wonder food, superfood.
Yeah, they are, yeah.
So millets have again come back in the baskets of tribals and rural areas. Similarly, things are, linked with each other. So that way we sorted out nutrition issues.
Wow, that really brings things full circle. It's really impressive how all-encompassing this initiative really is. So, looking forward, so within the next 5 to 10 years, as you hope to expand, not just within Chhattisgarh, but across India itself, what do you see or foresee as the future direction of the NGGB or RIPA project? And how do you envision that communities, policymakers, the government, and other like-minded organizations utilize what you have learned and try to apply it within their own community?
Well, we have got many visitors, like right from many chief ministers to Raghuram Rajan kind of economist has visited us, and they wrote law beautiful things about articles about what they have seen is unbelievable.
Hmm.
That's a part. After coming out of Chhattisgarh, when the different government came, I came out of it because they have different kind of priorities.
Hmm.
And many governments has called me to become and they start the same thing. I said,
Hmm.
Look, I did something which is evident, which is there. Go there, set your officers, learn it, and I started. What I do is that I have then taken up at a different stage. Instead of depending on the government, I have planned to start uh, one big, huge place where I can showcase every damn thing.
Hmm.
One place. So in Wardha, where Gandhiji has gone during the freedom struggle, it is the place in central India. There's a institute which was almost drowning because of several uh, issues. The name of the place was Center of Science for Villages.
Hmm.
That has been started as tribute by scientists to Gandhiji and freedom struggle.
Yes.
So I have gone there, and we are working with full team. And now in the CSV, Center of Science for Villages in Wardha, we are doing our research. We are trying to exhibit everything and trying to spread our message and giving our free services, sometimes chargeable consultancy to NGOs, governments, institute, religious organizations,
Yes.
nationally, internationally, who are wants it to go there, understand the problem, deal with the solutions practically,
Hmm.
and create different innovative models. So now we
Hmm.
are part of CSV and trying to conserve it and do it for the rest of the globe.
Hmm. Okay. Wow. That is fantastic and very inspiring to hear. And I wish you all the best, Pradeep Ji, in trying to push forward these initiatives nationally. And I'm very confident that you will succeed in doing so, as difficult as it may seem. But thank you so much for joining us on Proudcast today. We really appreciate having you on. If you want to join us again, we'll let you know. We're down to host another one because I know we couldn't go over everything, but I just wanted to go over the fundamentals of your initiatives and also what philosophically has driven you to do such. And I think, we had a really great episode. So thank you for joining us today, Pradeep Ji. Thank you for watching as always, everyone. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification button, and to share to any like minded progressives out there who are willing to join the fight for human dignity. So, thank you, everyone.
Yeah. Bye.
All right. One last thing, if people wanted to learn more about your work and these initiatives, how should they do so? Do you guys have a website or do you guys have something we can provide?
I have a very simple email, seva, sewa, seva.service at gmail.com.
Okay.
Right?
We'll make sure to include that in the video description, everyone. So,
And we have a website of CSV, csv.org.
hmm.
CSV.
Okay.
His website, you can say to it.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. That's amazing. Yes. We will include that in the video description. And
Thank you.
yeah, awesome.